The wrapper of glory was no longer a secret in whispers. It was spreading, like wildfire under Harmattan's sun. First from one market to another, then from salon chairs to prayer groups, then quietly into DMS, forwarded WhatsApp broadcasts, and behind locked bathroom doors. And as it spread, it found new wearers, new warriors, new victims. Isioma Okonkwo was the kind of woman who made people stop mid-conversation just to admire her packaging. At 26, she was intelligent, funny, and had the kind of smile that made people feel seen. But none of that mattered to her fiancé's mother. "You are a good girl, Isioma," the woman had said during their first visit, "but my son prefers slender ladies." That was her introduction. Not welcome to our home, not have some foo-foo, just a polite rejection wrapped in cultural expectation. Isioma laughed it off at first. "It's just old people wahala," she told her friends. "Mama no get filter." But then her fiancé, Namdi, added quietly one night, "Babe, just try to work on it before the introduction. You know how my mum is." That hit deeper. The man who once said, "I love every inch of you," now wanted to reduce those inches. So Isioma went to war with her body. She tried keto. She did skipping, 200 every morning until her calves screamed. She drank detox tea that sent her running to the toilet like she was being chased by a Motakun. At one point, she even tried the madness a certain Instagram wellness coach suggested, hanging upside down for 10 minutes daily to redistribute body weight. Still, the scale refused to move. Then one afternoon, while at the salon, she overheard the whisper that would change everything. Two women were gisting as their hair was being set under dryers. "Now that rapper helper, I heard she lost 2 sizes in 1 week." "Which rapper?" "Rapper of glory." Isioma's ears perked. She waited until the women left, then approached the stylist. "Sis, abeg, who is that ronky they were talking about? And how can I reach her?" 3 days later, Isioma held her own brown calico parcel. She had spoken to Baba Banjoko via a burner number, paid the 12,000 naira through a friend's account, and picked up the wrapper from a dispatch rider like she was collecting contraband. Rule 1, tie tightly. Rule 2, face east. Rule 3, no food after 7 p.m. Rule 4, no removal until sunrise. Rule 5, do not use during menstruation. She followed every rule like it was NICO exam instructions. And it worked. Within 5 days, her waist shrank. Her clothes fit better. Her arms no longer rubbed against her sides. When she walked into her pre-wedding shoot in a peach mermaid gown, her future in-laws gasped with joy. "She's looking refined," one auntie whispered. The pictures went viral. Comments poured in. Body goals. This is what prayer and fasting can do. Now God they do body surgery now. But Isioma knew. And worse, her dreams knew. They started on day 4. A faceless bride, wearing Isioma's exact gown, standing in red earth under a sky that had no sun, her veil stained, her bouquet dripping blood. Every night the bride pointed at Isioma and hissed, "This is not your body. Return it." One night the bride ran toward her. Isioma screamed herself awake, her sheets soaked, her wrapper tighter than ever. Still, she kept tying it, because now she had something to lose. "Once the wedding is over, I'll stop," she told herself. But deep down, she wasn't sure she could. Tinu, the new mother who vanished. Tinu Ajayi had never been the loud type. At 24, she was a quiet, graceful woman, soft-spoken, kind. A new mother who adored her son, Tolu, like he was the only star in her night sky. But giving birth had changed her. Her belly was soft, her arms jiggled, her once firm breasts now had a life of their own. Her husband, Kunle, told her daily, "Babe, you are perfect." But when she stared into the mirror after bathing, the reflection didn't agree. She saw fat, loss, sacrifice. Not the glow social media promised new mothers. She joined a Facebook group, Fit Mamas Niger. That's where she first saw the post. Traditional method that helped me drop baby weight. Safe, natural. Ask me how. The comments section was full of thank you messages and before and after photos that didn't look real. But Tinu was tired of hating her reflection. She sent a DM. 2 days later, the parcel arrived, wrapped in brown paper, no label. She started that night. At first it felt fine. Day 1, better sleep. Day 2, less bloating. Day 3, a slimmer waist. But day 4, something changed. She woke up and tried to breastfeed. Nothing came out. Her breasts were soft, empty. Tolu cried for hours. She tried pap, water, soup. Nothing worked. By day 5, she was dizzy, weak. Her vision blurred when she bent to pick up his toy. By day 6, she collapsed beside his cot. Kunle found her on the floor, lips pale, wrapper still tied around her waist like a noose. At the hospital, tests showed nothing. Maybe stress, the doctor said. But Tinu knew. It wasn't stress, it was the wrapper. She stopped using it that night. She tried to burn it, but when she lit a match and threw it onto the wrapper, the flame snuffed itself out. Twice. She ended up burying it in the backyard under a mango tree. Still, her dreams didn't stop. 3 women, 1 wrapper, same suffering, same silence. But fate was already pulling them together, and very soon they would find themselves in the same room, with the same secret, ready to explode. Ronk's business had never been better. New clients, old clients returning, men smiling at her in the market like she was fried plantain on Sunday afternoon. She had started wearing makeup to buy pepper, started speaking with small British accent when she picked customer calls. Yes, ma'am, custom lace. Only 45,000 naira for the set. I'll throw in free gal styling, just because you sound like royalty. Even the same market women who once mocked her began coming to her shop, whispering through the curtain, Ronky baby, a beg fit me with that your magic. I'm ready. She gave them all Baba Banjoko's number, but she never warned them. She should have, because by now Ronky no longer felt like herself. Her laughter had quieted. Her body moved like it had gears inside. Sometimes she'd sew and lose track of time, only to look up and realize it was 3 a.m., and she hadn't eaten, slept, or blinked properly in hours. And the dreams? Worse. Now the faceless woman didn't just stand at the edge of her bed. She whispered from the mirror, her voice low and urgent. You are disappearing, Ronky. You gave up joy for judgment. One afternoon, as Ronky adjusted a mannequin outside her shop, she suddenly felt lightheaded. The ground spun. The sounds of the market dimmed like someone had turned the volume down. She gripped the table. Then her knees buckled. She collapsed beside a basket of tomatoes. A seller screamed. Someone poured sachet water on her. It took 2 men to lift her into a kiki. At the hospital, her blood pressure was dangerously low. She was weak, pale, and confused. The doctor, a soft-spoken man in his 40s, looked at her chart, then at her. Madam, are you taking any medication? She hesitated. No, just herbs. What kind of herbs? She blinked, then whispered, a wrapper. It's herbal. The doctor's pen paused. He lowered it slowly. A wrapper? She nodded. You need to stop immediately, he said, voice stern. Whatever this is, it's affecting your nervous system. Your body is in distress. You need rest and real food. Ronk nodded, but her mind was far away. That night she went home, opened her wardrobe, and there it was, coiled like a living thing, the wrapper of glory. And in that moment, it hissed. Ronky screamed and slammed the door shut. 3 weeks later, Ronky attended a women's empowerment seminar in Yaba. Her sister had practically dragged her there saying, maybe what you need is encouragement, not slimming. She went reluctantly. The room was filled with women, Mothers, students, career ladies. There was a panel of speakers. One woman took the microphone and said something that hit her like slap. Some of us are shrinking ourselves into nothing just to fit into society's idea of beauty. But what are we losing in the process? Health? Identity? Peace? The crowd went silent. Ronke blinked, her hands suddenly cold. She wasn't the only one. At the front row sat a woman clutching her scarf like it held her together. Isioma. She trembled, nodded, and whispered, "It's true." At the back sat Tinu, quiet, holding her baby like a lifeline. After the session, Ronke approached the speaker to say thank you. Isioma joined her. They locked eyes. There was silence. Then Ronke said, "You too?" Isioma nodded. "The rapper?" Ronke nodded back. "I almost didn't survive." A voice came from behind them. "I stopped producing milk. My baby cried all night." They turned. Tinu stood there, eyes heavy with untold stories. The three women found a bench outside and sat. They talked, laughed, then cried, deep, healing sobs. Each had lost something. Ronke, sleep and peace. Isioma, self-esteem. Tinu, her ability to nurse. And all for what? A flatter waist? A week later, the three women met again, this time in Tinu's backyard in Surulere. They each brought their wrappers. Ronke placed hers on the floor first, unwrapping it gently like one would a snake's skin. Isioma followed, her hands shaking. Tinu didn't unwrap hers. She simply threw the entire parcel onto the ground and stepped back. They poured kerosene, lit a match. The flames rose fast. But something strange happened. The fire crackled loudly, then went quiet. Then howled. Yes, howled. For a brief second, the wrappers didn't burn like cloth. They fizzled, hissed, and turned black, oily, and heavy. But the fire kept eating until nothing remained. As the smoke drifted into the sky, the women watched in silence. It wasn't just cloth they burned. They had burned shame, burned pressure, burned societies, expectations. That same month, they organized a small event at a community hall. No sponsors, no camera crew, just truth. The theme? Unwrap yourself, the truth about weight loss. Wajala. Women came from far and near. Some wore jeans, some wore wrappers, some wore shame. They laughed, they cried, they confessed the lies they had believed. Ronke told her story. Tinu shared her scare. Isioma revealed how she nearly called off her wedding over her waistline. The hall buzzed, not with gossip, but with healing. My Body, My Pace started trending that night on Twitter. More women shared their stories. No editing, no filters, just truth. 1 year later, the three of them sat under a mango tree in Tinu's compound. The weather was cool, and the smell of stew filled the air. Tolu, now walking and full of energy, ran around the compound with powder all over his face. Ronke laughed, reaching out to wipe his cheeks with a wrapper she no longer tied around herself like shame. Isioma was now married to a man who told her every morning, "Your joy is my beauty." Ronke still sewed, still smiled, but now she looked happier at size 16 than she ever was at 12. They were eating amala with Gubagiri when Isioma suddenly asked, "Do you think Baba Banjoko was real?" Ronke chuckled, "Oh, he's real all right, but the real magic wasn't in the wrapper." Tinu nodded. The real charm was the lie we told ourselves, that we weren't enough. They raised their bottles of malt in a toast. To every woman battling invisible weights, may you find peace heavier than your fears. They clinked bottles, and for the first time in a long while, they felt light.